Hello students, I hope you all are doing well. In the previous video, you have learned about the epithelial cells, and today in this lecture, you will gonna learn about this connective tissue. So if you want to learn about the epithelium, I have shared that link in the description box. You can go through that. In today's lecture, you're gonna learn about the connective tissues and the types of connective tissues and majorly the functions that involves or that is being done by the connective tissue. So yes, start this chapter. This is very interesting. Okay, see wherever you see this histology, so this histo means tissue. Okay, and this logy means study basically. So study of tissue, you can say, that is histology. As I told you that today's lecture you're completely based on the connective tissue. So what's the first thing that comes in your mind when you hear that term, like connective tissue? See, connective, as the name suggests, that means whatever the tissue that we are talking about, like it's connective tissue. So that connect or that provide link. Basically, you can say that. Or you can say provide support. Okay, so this is a, you can say, the major function which is being performed by the connective tissue. Now the thing that comes in your mind, like if you remember in the previous video, I had said that you have to remember thing that is, what is the origin. Like if I'm talking about the epithelial tissue, so the origin of that one was like epidermal, endodermal and mesodermal. But right now in this lecture, as it is about the connective tissue, so the origin of this connective tissue is mesodermal. That's a very important thing that you have to remember. Okay, now the thing comes after that, like it provides link, it provides a kind of connection or support to the cells. After that, there's a thing like this is one of the most abundant. Okay, this is one of the most abundant and widely distributed. Okay, as you know about the previous one, that is epithelial, that was not like most abundant one, but yes, connective is one of the most abundant. Like if I'm talking about, for an example, like I'm talking about blood, so it's a kind of connective tissue, it's a fluid connective tissue, as it is, it connect your complete body. It helps in transportation. So the another function for connective tissue, you can say it, it helps in transportation. Transportation of what? Transportation of the waste material or the good material too. And also one another function for that, you can say provide insulation. Now a thing comes in your mind, like what is insulation? So see, insulation, as you know, whatever you are eating, you are getting energy from them, but like as you know, the excess energy is getting stored in the fat cells. Okay, and that is like kind of glycogen, you can say. So it is a kind of connective tissue that it is storing the energy once you require. So that, and also insulation, that means it provides a kind of, or it prevent loss of heat. It prevent loss of heat, you can say that. Again, the most important thing in that is, as I'm told, like it is one of the most abundant as per my words. See, if you see any kind of tissue structure, or you can say, the components, whether you are talking about the structure of a connective tissue or the components that involve, in the connective tissue. Let me write this thing. So see, components is something, basically it consists of two things. That is, first one is the cells, and second thing that is there is somewhat, you can say, ECM, that is extra cellular matrix. Okay, see, now the thing that you have to remember once more, see, the number of these cells is less. Okay, is less, as compared to the ECM, that is extracellular matrix. So the extracellular matrix, or you can say it's a kind of a ground substance. Okay, this is present in the large amount as compared to the previous one. Now a question may come in your mind, like what type of cells involved in the connective tissues, or like what kind of ECM I am talking about here. Okay, so see, if I'm talking about the cells, so you can say it involves mast cells, it involves fibroblast, or you can say that, okay, it involves leukocytes, or you can say like WBCs. See, the thing that you have to remember here is, you know, the ECM, as I am saying that this is in a large amount. Let's say this is a kind of cell. Okay, this is a kind of different cell because there are so many cells present. However, the number of the cells is, less as compared to the ECM, but still, okay. And the ECM, like this extracellular matrix is present over there. See, if I am comparing this thing to the previous one, like the epithelial one. In epithelial, there is intracellular matrix of the extracellular matrix. See, that is present inside the cell, and extra, that means if it is present outside the cell. Okay, so ECM in case of epithelial, it was like, you can say that is not present even, and if it is present, so the amount is very less in case of epithelium. Okay, but now in the case of ECM, this is in a huge amount. That means the space present in between the cells is very large. You can say that. Okay. Moreover, what you can say, that connective tissue is providing flexibility. Okay, it providing elasticity depending upon the protein fiber involved there. Okay, I will going to tell you like what kind of protein fibers are involved in there, and we're going to tell you, just stay connected. See, if you see a connective tissue, so basically, like if I am talking about in terms of NCRT, so there is basically three things we have. We have, loose connective tissue, LCT, loose connective tissue. Then we have dense connective tissue, that is DCT. And finally, we have specialized connective tissue. So these are three types of connective tissue that is being given in the, NCRT book. But other than that, what you have to remember, whether if you are talking about in terms of the types, or a classification, you can say. So, the second thing, if you do the classification, so classification is, you can say, on that basis, they can be of two types. Okay. First one is the on this basis of like the embryonic, okay, embryonic connective tissue, and second is the mature connective tissue. See, this is very important from the point of view of your exam, from the point of view of your NEET, or like from 11th biology. Okay, so second one is mature connective tissue. So whether if I'm talking about the loose connective tissue, that is the second thing is DCT, that is dense connective tissue, or the specialized connective tissue. These all come under that mature connective tissue. Okay. Other than that, we have more, like we have cartilage. Okay, cartilage, bone tissues, and say last one we have is the liquid connective tissue. Do you know what is liquid connective tissue? See, this is blood, or blood, you can say that. If I'm talking about the embryonic connective tissue, so it can be of two types. Okay, it can be of two types. First one is the mesenchyme. Okay, it's a mesenchyme. See, if I'm talking about the mesenchyme, or you can say, the origin, where it is being originated, like I'm talking about the connective tissue. So the origin is mesodermal, as I told you, in the beginning of this lecture. So mesenchyme. Okay, and second one we are having is the mucous connective tissue. Okay, So just just note these two things in your notebook, because this is very important. Okay, I will discuss this embryonic connective tissue and the mature in the upcoming session. Just have a look and just note down these two. Now just let's talk about the first one. Like, okay, just have a look. That is, embryonic connective tissue. See, as the name suggests, that means embryonic. That means that tissue is primarily present in the embryo. Okay, so whether we are talking about the embryonic, so that means it is present in the embryo. First thing, I think this is clear to you. Okay, then the first type of this one was mesenchyma. Okay, that is mesenchyme. Now just have a look. See, mesenchyme, that means the kind of origin, you can say. Okay, so it is found almost exclusively in the embryo, as I told you before, and from this tissue, almost all other connective tissues eventually arise. Okay, so this is the, like, one of the major thing from other tissue will gonna arise. Okay, other tissue will arise from the mesenchyma, you can say. Correct. Then it consists of a irregularly shaped mesenchymal cells. Okay, so irregular shape, like this is the perfect shape of a cell. If you see irregular, that means the structure may be like that, and these are embedded into this irregular structure, and these are embedded in the semifluid. Okay, and that semifluid, you can say the ground substance, that may be protein or fibrins. Okay, that may be collagen fiber, that may be collagen fiber, that may be fibrins, or you can say it's a kind of protein. That ground substance is a kind of protein. So you can say that. Correct. So just have a look. Another thing, like if I'm talking about the location. Okay, in terms of location, if you want to see, so the location that mesenchyme or the embryonic that will lies under skin. Okay, so the location is, you can say, under skin. I think this is clear to you. And along developing bones of the embryo, some mesenchymal cells are found in adult connective tissue. Okay, especially you can say this embryonic is majorly present in the blood vessels, you can say, in the adult tissue. Okay, second thing of the embryonic, like the second type of that embryonic one was mucous connective tissue. Okay, let me, I think, stay tuned. Mucous connective tissue. See, mucus, as the name suggests, it consists of a widely scattered fibroblast. Okay, so widely, we write this thing, widely scattered fibroblast. Okay. See, if you was talking about that mesenchyma, so here in that case, there is no, like, we are not talking about the fibroblast here. Okay, but in case of mucus, here the main thing is the fibroblasts, which are embedded in the viscous ground substance that contains collagen fibers. Okay, so yeah, they are containing the collagen fibers. Correct. Now the thing is where it is present, or the location, you can say. Just a minute. Yes. So the location, if you are talking about in terms of location, so it is present in the fetus, or you can say umbilical cord of fetus. Whether the previous one, like if I'm talking about the mesenchyma, so the main location was like in the skin. Okay, mesenchyma, it was like under skin, but in case of the mucus, it is present in the umbilical cord of fetus. Now the thing is, the function of this mucus was what you can say is kind of location, I mean support, providing support. See, whatever the question come related to connective tissue, so at this point you have to remember. Okay, so the major function of the connective tissue is to provide support, is to provide link, is to provide protection. Okay, you can say protection, support, link, connect macrophages. Sorry, it's not macrophages, it's a kind of, you can say, defense, because for defense we have macrophages, mast cells, we have so many things like WBCs are there, so everything is present in the is a kind of cells, you can. Okay, so let's move to the next thing, that is, you know mature connective tissue. See, in mature connective tissue, there are so many types that you have to remember, or you have to, understand, so that it will gonna make you easier to, have just that knowledge. Okay, so just learn this. The mature connective tissue is something, you can say, that differentiate from mesenchyma. Okay, as you know, the origin of the connective tissue was the mesenchyma. Okay, and for the mature one, you can say they differentiate from the mesenchyme, and there are so many, like, basically 5 types of mature connective. So how many types we have mature connective tissue? So we have 5 types. Okay, you can go back and can have a look which type of those one. Okay, so you can check there. Now the thing is, first one was like the loose connective tissue. Okay, so the loose connective tissue, see, loose, as the name suggests, that means here the fibers that we are talking about, basically what I've told you, the that connective tissues consist of basically 2 things: cells and the ECM, that is extracellular matrix. Okay, and in cells, the main things, we have mast cells and all that. In ECM we have fibers, like collagen fibers is there, but it's basically, it consists of a protein, that may be collagen or fibers, and so many kind of. Okay, so in case of loose, what you have to deal with is, the fibers that is present here. Okay, these fibers are kind of loose connected tissue, or you can say they are loosely intertwined with the tissue. Okay, these are loosely intertwined between cells. Okay, loosely intertwined between cells. Like, for example, if this is a type of cell and this is another type of cell, okay, this is a cell. Okay, and fibers, these are loosely arranged. Okay, if I am talking about the dense one, so they are like compactly arranged, kind of this structure, you can say. This is another thing, but yes, you don't have to deal with this, you have to deal with this one. Okay, now if you see that loose connective tissue, again they can be of 3 types basically, but majorly, like, if I am talking about from the point of view of your NCRT, so it can be of 2 types of them. So you have to remember only 2 types, just because this is important to you. Okay, so first one, that is the areolar, connective tissue, and second one we are having is the adipose. See, wherever you see this term, adipose, that means this is connected to the fat cells. Okay, so it's a fat connective tissue, you can say. Now the thing is, if I'm talking about the areolar connective tissue, so it contains fibroblast. Okay, it contains fibroblast, it contains macrophages. Okay, let me change the color so that, just a minute. Okay, so it contains macrophages, it contains one more thing, that is mast cells. I think this is clear to you. But in case of adipose, okay, these all 3, like fibroblasts, macrophages, and mast cells, these are absent. This is one of the main or basic difference between both. Okay? Then, if I'm talking about the areolar, connective tissue function, okay, so it acts as support framework for epithelium. So that means if it is epithelium, so this connective tissue is providing support to that epithelium. Okay, this is epithelium and this is your connective tissue. So this connective tissue is provided kind of support. Support to which tissue? Support to epithelium. And in case of adipose, you can say, as I just told you that it is a kind of fat cells. That means they are storing, yes, they are specialized to store fat. So they store fat. And now the question is, where they store fat? So beneath the skin. Okay, beneath the skin. I think this is clear to you. See, If I am, talking about the second type of the previous one, dense, dense connective tissue. A dense connective tissue. See, dense, as that name suggests, that contains more fibers. Okay, that contains, dense means they have more fibers. Okay, and less cells, you can say that. They have more fibers and less cells. They, they are basically three types. Like in the previous one, they are of many types. They are of also two types basically. In this, they can be of three types. But again, like from the point of view of your NCRT, this is the main thing that you have to remember. They are of two types basically. Okay. Because whenever we are talking about the dense connective tissue, so two things are there. We are talking about the tendons and the ligaments. Okay. No doubt here that fibers that may be arranged as in a regular manner, or they may be arranged like irregular. Okay, they may be arranged like that. So arts and I, that means they can arrange like regular or irregular. See, tendons and ligaments, they both represent that dense connective tissue. Now the thing is, what is tendons? Okay, what is tendons and what is ligaments? This is very important, because in your exam you may definitely get that question, like what is the difference between tendons and the ligament. See, if I'm talking about the tendons, okay, see, if your bone is attached to the muscle, okay, then that will be termed as so tendons, or you can say this attachment is because of tendons. Okay, so tendon basically what they do, they just they just connect bone to skeletal muscles. In case of ligaments, if this is one bone and this is another bone, so if bone to bone is connection is there, like this is bone and this is also bone, okay, so this connection is because of ligament. Okay, and if bone is connected to the skeletal muscle, then this is due to tendon. That's, you have to remember that. Okay, now the thing is, if I'm talking about the tendons, so second point is it is made up of white fibrous tough tissue. So white fibrous tissue, you can say that. Okay, while that ligament is made up of yellow elastic tissue. Okay, it is made up of yellow elastic tissue. Okay, see, like in the starting I just told you, like there are two types, like there is a loose, dense, and in terms of specialized we have blood, bones and cartilages too. Okay, no doubt they are mature kind of tissues, so just let's have a look about that one also. Just have a look there. See, like we have cartilage. Okay, we have bone and blood. No doubt they all are mature one. These all are mature connective tissue, and also they are somewhat, you can say, specialized connective tissue. Okay. Now the thing is, what is the difference between the cartilage and bone? Okay. Because cartilage and bone. Okay. See, just have a look. Let me change the color so that it will be easier for you to understand the thing. Okay. See, so if I'm talking about the cartilage, these are the soft skeletal tissue. Like if I'm talking about the boundary of your ear, okay, or your nose, if this is a kind of cartilage, that means they are a kind of flexible part of your body that can move if you want to move them. Okay, so it's a soft skeletal tissue. While if I'm talking about this, the bone, this is somewhat, you can say, the tough or the hard one. Okay, this is very hard. Cartilage, these are enclosed in small cavities. Like if I'm talking about the cartilage, so the structure will be, you can say, just a minute, uh, chondriocytes, that's what you have to remember. Okay, so chondriocytes, Where they are stored, they are, enclosed in small cavity. They are enclosed in small cavity, enclosed here. Okay. And if I'm talking about the bone, so these are somewhat, you can say, they are rich in calcium salt. Okay. These are rich in calcium salt. And also, these are one of the most abundant in the fibers too. Like you can say collagen fibers, correct? Then they are present, like if I'm talking about that cartilage, so they are present, like I told you before, the tip of nose. Okay, they are present in the tip of the nose, outer ear. Okay, and now the question is where that bone is present. This is very clear to you, like they are, present in the limbs, leg, or skeletal framework. Okay, skeletal framework, and you can say limbs. This is a very easy point to remember. Okay. Now the last thing, but not the least one. Okay, see, because we have so many tissues more. Okay, see, just have a look. So the thing is the blood. Okay, blood, as you know, it's a fluid connective tissue, FCT. Okay, that's a fluid connective tissue. Now the thing is what it contains. It contains plasma. Okay, plasma that produce antibodies, which will gonna help or will gonna act like it for defense system, you can say. Okay, then we have RBCs. Okay, that means red blood cells. Then we have WBCs, that is white blood cells, and platelets. Okay, these are the major components of the blood. Okay, then the thing is now that what is the function of this blood? That's help in transportation. Okay, help in transportation. As I told you before, that it helps in the removal of the wastage, or like a good thing also, like oxygen. It is providing oxygen. So yes, of various substances between organs. So yes, this was all about the connective tissue. For the next video, like for the muscle tissue, the neural tissues, stay connected.